Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Genevieve Wisdom joining us here today. She's a certified counselor and life coach at wisdomlifecoach.com is the name of her company. Again, wisdomlifecoach.com. How are you today?
I am fantastic, beautiful Jill. How are you today?
Now, you look beautiful. And please introduce yourself to our listeners today.
Oh, of course, I'm happy to. So, Jill actually got my name perfectly. It is a French name, but in English,
Ooh.
it's Genevieve. Has a lot of syllables, so it is Genevieve Wisdom. Wisdom is indeed my last name. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm a life coach. I love life coaching because I have amassed a wealth of wisdom through life, both by experience and education. I went back to school in my late 30s and graduated with, I know, I'm a little bit older than that now. Graduated
No.
with, yes, and graduated with a degree in nutrition and applied sciences. But I've done wealth, I've been an insurance broker, and I started out as a fashion model. And Jill,
Wow.
what I found is over the years, as I've traversed life, all my valued clients, friends, family look at me and say, Genevieve, how do you stay so youthful? And how do you feel amazing as you age? And Jill, that's a gift as we age.
Ah.
Basically, that's my foundation, that's my niche in Wisdom Life Coach is to help everyone look good and feel amazing as they age.
Okay, tell me about you. You immigrated from the Caribbean to Vancouver, Canada. Tell me your life story. But before that, are you hearing a little bit of an echo or reverb right now?
No, I'm not. You're
Okay,
very clear on my end.
perfect. I'm glad. I'm hearing something on my end. I was just concerned. If you're not hearing it, I'm good.
I am
It could
not
be my
hearing.
headset.
It could
All
be,
right, good. Please tell
headsets
me a little
do
bit
that.
about yourself. So, where are you from? And tell me about your journey to Vancouver. And of course, more about yourself and what brought you here today.
Of course, of course. So, yes, I am from Jamaica originally. My mom came up as a housekeeper nanny way back when, fell in love with the trees and the rain of British Columbia. Now, imagine Jamaica, sunshine, beach, 80 degrees, a nice breeze from the south or north, wherever. And mom comes to beautiful British Columbia, completely different beauty, and says, I'm home. I'm in love with the trees and the rain. Brought us all up. I must tell you, Jill, when I came up, I wasn't at home. I was freezing. But over the years, I've grown to love beautiful British Columbia. And that's actually the tagline. And throughout those years,
Wow.
a quick snippet on my life story.
Yes.
I was quite tall from 13. I was 5'8" at 13. And yeah, I know. I was
Hence
walking
the model in her. Of course you're a model. Gorgeous looks, gorgeous body, and the height. She got it. She has it all.
right? Exactly. So I'm walking down the street, and this beautiful blonde, I just remember her big blonde curls came bounding out of her high-end clothing store in an
Uh-huh.
area where I lived called North Vancouver and said to me, "Oh, you're so beautiful. You should model." I didn't even know what modeling was. I
Yeah.
was fresh from Jamaica. I was 13. I said, "Okay," and that was the start of my modeling career. Now, I always preface that by saying I wasn't a supermodel. I
Mm-hmm.
was the majority of models where, there's a foundation of modeling and then one or two, you have that luck. That
Yeah.
wasn't me. Nonetheless, I really had great
Mm-hmm.
experiences modeling.
Amazing.
Yes,
And
perfect.
then how do we get into this line of work of coaching people? Explain. Right. So
Exactly.
clearly you're a model. You have to be outgoing. You got a great personality, which I can sense right off the bat. Now, how did you discover this though and become a certified counselor and life coach? Who inspired you to do this?
Well, Jill, life has never been easy, so to
Mm-hmm.
speak. I was born in a ghetto in Kingston, Jamaica. There's nowhere else, no
I've
other way
been
to
to
describe
Kingston.
it.
My girlfriend is from there. She used to do my hair and makeup at the TV station. So we went back to her hometown. We stood in Kingston. Everyone's like, "You going to Jamaica? You're going to the beach?" I'm like, "No, we're going to Kingston."
Good
I
for
got to
you.
see what it was like, and it was
And
actually awesome.
did you love it? Isn't it amazing? Aren't the people incredible?
Awesome, awesome. But everyone's like, "You're on an exotic vacation." I'm like, no, I'm going to like a city. I'm going to the town. Like, no,
Exactly.
it was really, I loved it. But again, it's from, everyone's point of view is different. They thought I was going to the beach on a vacation. I'm like, no, we're going to the city.
No, that's awesome. And just an aside, the last time I went back to Jamaica, I went as a tourist. So born in an impoverished situation, made it out, came here, got picked up modeling, which is just shocking considering where I came from. Then after I graduated, modeling didn't skyrocket for me. As I said, it was, a dabble. I walked some runways, I did some magazines, but it wasn't the only thing. And my mom said to me, and I always put on her Jamaican accent. I don't know why. Maybe that's what I hear. And
Yeah,
she's going, you might look good now, but you're a brilliant girl. You have to make sure when the body fails, you have the brain to fall back on. And that never left me, Jill, even when I was doing all these great things. So in my mid to late 30s, I actually went back and finished my university degree because I
yeah,
heard, Mom, you might have
yeah,
the cute body now, but fall back on the brain. So I went back and did a triple concentration in applied sciences, kinesiology, gerontology, psychology, plus a nutrition adjunct. And what really led me into the coaching aspect and life coaching was my mom passed away quite young of breast cancer.
yeah,
So, whenever you go through any major turmoil like that in life,
yeah.
it really changes perspective. And so I wanted to help. I wanted to become a doctor in naturopathic medicine. I had great opportunities, but I like to do something a little more hands on. I like people. I
Ah,
like to be able to talk freely. And so I did something called thermography, which is medical imaging. And from
mm-hmm.
that, I really started to coach and counsel women. Now, by this time, I'm a lot older than that 13-year-old walking down the street, and I have this fantastic skin, still have that model look. At the time, things have changed a little bit now, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah,
And men and women alike were just amazed that
yeah.
I was the age I was and had the fabulous skin. So I started to talk to them about skincare. I learned that your skin eats what you put on the outside, and that helps us to, we all get older. We're not trying to erase, but there are things that we can do to look as amazing as we can as we age. And then with my degree, after mom going through her health issues, health became something that I cared about. So I studied nutraceuticals and realized that you could stack it, put on good things on the outside,
Yeah.
put good things on the inside, and here we are.
Gosh. Well, exciting to have you here. Oh
Thank
my
you, Jill.
goodness. This is amazing the work you do. Let's remind everyone how we could reach out to you, please. I know it's wisdomlifecoach.com. Is there a phone number, social media pages you want to share?
What I want to share is email. I still am technically somewhat old school right now. I like the one-on-one. So I do have an email called info@wisdomlifecoach.com. And I have someone who takes care of that. And then we kind of filter things and they can get to me much faster one-on-one that way. So wisdomlifecoach.com, info@wisdomlifecoach.com. Best way to
Perfect.
reach
Great. And let's talk about some specifics. Who could benefit from a life coach? Could you give us some examples?
out. Of course. Well, I talked about beauty from the outside in being my niche. However, everyone benefits from a life coach because a life coach is your championer. It's someone that comes alongside you and say, okay, yes, this is the trajectory where you want to go, but maybe you're not sure how to do it. A life coach can help you find that. A life coach is your life organizer, if you will. And Jill, although I talked about, of course, starting fashion modeling, being in integrative medicine, which is nutraceuticals, no matter what someone does, you can use a life coach to stay healthy, which is the nutraceutical aspect of it. But even if you're a business person, putting your
Yeah.
best face forward always helps. And so that's why my foundation is life coaching. I have these specific modalities, shall you say, that I help people with, but absolutely everyone can benefit. I have a lot of clients who are business people. I love business. That's the bottom my foundation, being a model, Jill, a lot of people don't realize that being a model is actually being a business person.
Oh,
You're
it is for sure. Yeah, you're running your own business, you're running your own show. It's not just beauty and walking on that runway. You are right.
absolutely. And so I learned very young, and that's what I've done, which a lot of my clients like, is take life university, as we call it. Plus, I went to traditional university, I've married them, and I've helped people wherever they are in their lives. So for a business person, for instance, things might be going incredible. You have a lot of money coming in, you have a lot of clients coming in, but now you have to manage the new thing with family, with making sure you get to the gym and all of those things. That's when you need a life coach. A life coach helps you to traverse life, whether you have great things going on or possibly something painful, like having someone pass away in a family, etc. Now, different from counseling, I usually refer to a counselor to do the deep rooted things. Life coach takes you from where you are now, point A to point B. I usually like to do a maximum 90-day sessions,
Hmm.
in the sense that once a week for 90 days, we should have that change that you need within that time.
Got it. Well, that's amazing. I was going to ask, so normally, how many months does it take to change a behavioral pattern, right? Because you need to work on something, but how long does it take to physically make that change? Is it 3 months?
It's 3 weeks, it's 21 days.
I
It's
was confused. Really? So 3 weeks you can make it happen.
it's 21 days. That's psychology, because that's one of my, remember I mentioned I went back and I had a triple concentration. It was in psychology, gerontology, and kinesiology. So in psychology, 21 days to change a habit. So in 21 days working with your life coach, I would help you to change whatever habit it is that you'd like for a new habit. However, I like to work with someone for 90 days. And here's something else here that you might find interesting. Whenever we give someone a nutraceutical, which is a long name for vitamins and minerals, but these are studied. They have research papers, etc. We all know about that now. We tell someone, take this, biotin for your hair, which helps
Mhm.
everything else. And
Wow.
for 90 days before you can actually make a definitive answer as to yes or no, whether or not it works. So 21 days to change behavior.
Okay.
However, give yourself 3 months with your coach to really, do the dance of that behavior. Jill, I was doing a little reggae dance for you. Hopefully you didn't. But really to do the dance, the rhythm of life to change that behavior. So that is what the norms in which I work with timeline wise.
Yeah, well, that's amazing. And could you share some client experiences of the changes you've helped people overcome?
Oh, of course, of course. And so well, one more recent client, it is really about feeling good as you age. Now, professional, and of course, Jill, I'll just talk very general. So professional, male, had knee pains because he was an athlete before. Now he said to me, he goes, listen, Genevieve, I have this huge business success, very successful businessman, but he has knee pains. And so he's finding it difficult to concentrate, even, not to mention, getting around. And so what I did was I started with, okay, what are you putting in your body? Because whatever you're putting in your body affects the feeling of it. Then I went to nutraceutical. And then I went to the balance, because we always have to have a life balance. And that's why I love being a life coach, is because we can't really focus on just one area. We can't just focus on what we look like. We can't just focus on what we feel like, because we have our relationships, etc. And we have our business. As you know, Jill, being just
Yeah.
so incredible as a host as you are, that is a huge part of life, whatever we do for business. So then I looked at, okay, how much time are you spending at the office? What is it that you're willing to accomplish? And
Uh-huh.
then we set goals. I made him feel better first, however, because here's the thing, Jill. If someone, I don't care who we are, and
Yeah.
I don't know if you concur, if we're not feeling good about what we look like, what we feel like, it doesn't matter what goes on the business end, it affects that. And this
Yeah.
man, um,
Wow.
older, was feeling that. And so he reached out to me. I helped him feel good with his pain, organize what he's doing on his business side, and everything is great. We're not done yet, but that's where I am right now.
Wow, exciting to have you here. Let's remind everyone how we can reach out to you. Let's reestablish your contact information.
Of course, of course. And so it's wisdomlifecoach.com. That's my website.
Mm-hmm.
And the best and fastest way to get through to me is info@wisdomlifecoach.com.
Got it. And also on social media, how can we find you?
Yes, social media, I'm revamping and regrouping. So, Jill, if I may I talk about social media a little bit later on? For now,
Perfect.
I'm still old school, which probably shows, Jill, we'll say this. I like to say old school, meet new school. So I'm still old school where I'm still doing, primarily
Aw,
email and website, but social media is coming. I should have that for you very soon.
perfect. Well, excited to hear. So, what else do you want us to learn about you and your services today?
Well, one of the number one things that I want people to know is when you reach out for a life coach like myself,
Mm-hmm.
uh, we can come and start with something simple. I've also mentioned that I have a nutrition degree. I had two adjunctive degrees that I did at the same time, which was one, kinesiology, gerontology, psychology, so the applied sciences, and nutrition. Jill, because there's so much change going on, I've had a lot of people reach out to me about nutritional aspects of things because a lot of us have had to stay home, not move much. What kind of vitamins and minerals, nutraceuticals can we have? So someone will come to me for that to talk about nutrition, and we'll end
Mm-hmm.
up talking about life balance.
Yeah.
That's the great thing about life coaching. You come to your coach, me, asking for one area, say, listen, Genevieve, I want to change in my nutrition. We start there, but because life happens,
Yeah.
and life is really that
Mm-hmm.
multifaceted, dynamic rhythm that we have to balance of family, nutrition, what we look like, all of that. We
Yeah.
start in one area and we end up over here. I'm really great at that, Jill. I'm really great at when someone comes to me, I listen. I love to listen. We
Mm-hmm.
start where you want to start, and it's sometimes surprising where we end up. And
Yeah.
where we end up is exactly the the foundation, shall we say. It's really the root as to why that person needed to come to me in the first place. So that's what I love about life coaching is we'll go on a journey. We'll go on a journey in your life. It's all about you. We start here, we may end up over here, but it will be exactly what you need.
Got it. Well, thank you so much. And by the way, to work with you, how does it work? Are we on Zoom? Are we on the phone? What types of way do you do the coaching?
Well, right now, and Jill, I know you understand this. Please forgive me for being so forward. Like we're long lost friends, but we've all had to change so much. And so right now, I focus on doing Zoom. I do have an office as well, but we had to kind of stay in, stay away, etc. So Zoom is the best way right now. But that's great. I always look for what is positive out there. I'm a
Yeah.
joyful life as well. And the positive thing is I now have clients in America. I'm here in Canada and now can open all over the world. I've had clients in Europe because we can do it by Zoom. So Zoom is the best way and usually the way in which we'll do coaching.
Good. Got it. Thank you so much. And if we had to, ask a question, New Year's here, people looking to better themselves in different ways to revamp their lives. I think it's a great gift to have a coaching session with you to start with the program with you because it's that time of year. Would you recommend that?
100%, Jill. And thank you for mentioning that because a new year is like a little ding, 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 a signal for all of us that, wow, another year
Hmm.
has passed. And instead of this year saying another year has passed, we may not have accomplished what we wanted, or this is what I always point out, Jill, for life coaching. People always think about coaching is that, oh my goodness, we don't know what to do. Life is a mess. No, you need a life coach when things are awesome, also, because then if things are awesome, we can line it all up. We'll
Yeah.
take this gift one after the other
Uh-huh. Yeah.
because, it's like playing baseball, for instance. We have to get ready to catch it. So when you have awesome things going on, you really need that organization, your life coach, me, to get ready to catch it.
Yeah.
But if, for instance, I have some major life changes that I also will be making, with my coach in the new year. And so, if you want to change things, whether it be your health, nutraceuticals, start a new skincare regimen
Yeah,
to look great
good.
on the outside. This is a good time to reach out to a life coach like myself who has not only the experience, but the education to help you put it all together.
Yeah. Well, exciting to have you here. We still got 5 minutes left on the clock. How can I say, you are a certified coach. You got,
Yes,
is there a certain niche? Do you also work with relationships? Some people also want to know about the difference between life coaching and also a mental health counselor.
of course, of course. So, life coaching I like to say life coach is like a general practitioner. So, in general, a general practitioner for life, so that I can be specific.
Yeah.
Um, in general, someone comes to you and say, "Oh my goodness, I have things going on with
Yeah.
relationship." I
Yeah.
actually worked with many couples on their relationship, and it's really the same model. People want to make sure that they're understood, and you want to find out what's going on in the background. So again, come to me for relationships, and I might find out that they need some nutraceuticals, that maybe someone's mood is not great, but this is just general. If
Yeah.
someone needs something deeper, and I can usually suss that out because of my education. If someone needs someone deeper, then I recommend, if they're not close to me, how they can find a counselor, for instance, in mental
Yeah.
health. Because sometimes, Jill, you do need to go deeper.
Yeah.
You may need a different way of dealing with your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You may need a deep-rooted marital counselor. Those are all things that I can help people decipher. You need to know how to decipher to get from point A to point B. I'm that coach that joins you at the front end of things and help you decipher with your relationship, for instance, how to get from point A to point B. So I do coach in every area of life. I like to call it the tent poles of life. So if you're setting up a tent, and Jill, this is really funny. I went camping one time and we set up the tent and it fell over. Now, you've been to Jamaica. Jamaicans are amazing, but you're going to know if someone is scared. So I was
Yeah.
screaming in this
Ah,
park, it was something else. So I like to say the 10 poles of life. You want to make sure that whatever area, so your relationship, your health, what you look like, your finances, all those areas I have experience and I can coach. Generally, fun with joy. And then if you need to go deeper, if it's more
yeah.
deeper rooted, we find out a referral program.
Yeah. Awesome. Good to know. Well, let's also remind our listeners how they can reach out to you. And is there an initial conversation that you offer? Is there a free session to start off to see if it's a good fit for them?
Yes, 100%. Because your life coach is like any other important crux of your life. You want to make sure you have that rapport and relationship. So I do a free 10-minute consult, and it can be either just by phone or by Zoom. And it's wisdomlifecoach.com, info@wisdomlifecoach.com. And I am Genevieve Wisdom, your life coach, because I love to give and I love to give my experience and energy.
Great. Thank you so much. Pleasure getting to know you and having you here today. And looking forward to the next time we speak. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you, Jill. Appreciate you.
No, you too. You have a fantastic day. And to all of our listeners, please stay tuned. More of the show, of course, is coming right up after the break. Please reach out to our friend here, Genevieve, and get that free consultation. And hopefully, there's so much we can improve upon in this new year. And we could do it with her help. We could do it together and better ourselves. Have a fantastic day.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, I mean, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.